We just got our blood work done.
Yeah, we did.
And our doctors asked us, what are we doing to have such great blood work?
Yeah. And you know what we told them?
ProCare!
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we told them like, yeah, we take ProCare every day because they have a multivitamin that you can just take one a day.
Yes, exactly. They have a capsule and a chewable form. And not only do they have vitamins, but they also have calcium chews.
Oh my God, they're so good.
They're so delicious. It's like our own little sweet treat for the end of the night.
It really is because they have the dark chocolate and they have the cinnamon roll.
Yes, and I love the salted caramel and the dinner mint.
Alrighty, we'll go to procarenow.com
and use code OSLP at checkout to save some money. You guys ask us all the time, what is our favorite protein powder?
Yeah, literally, we see this question every day.
And the answer is always
Devotion! Yeah. Oh my goodness. I even used it this morning to make my own sweet treat for nighttime because it's just a brownie batter pudding. And you literally just use 1 scoop and then milk or water.
And then I use it every morning in my coffee. It's so delicious. Oh my God. I want one right now thinking of it.
Seriously, it's 20 grams of protein. So go get yours now at devotionnutrition.com.
And use code OSLP to save some money.
I will start in 1 second.
What you doing?
Your boyfriend asked how the recording went. And I'm like, we're still in it.
Starting.
So
yep.
That's what's
We'll
happening.
get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
I mean, he should know we always run late. That's why I give him like 6-ish.
Yeah, there's an
7-ish.
ish.
I don't know.
What time is it there for you guys?
It is 11:45 in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still morning.
So
Got
you're 2:45, huh?
It is. You do know that.
I do know that.
I'm a history teacher who can't figure out time zones. It's great.
We're now starting. I never thought I would know time zones.
Oh yeah, we
I
have
never
to.
thought I needed to. And now
No.
it's like Central, Mountain, all of that I know.
Yeah, we're gonna
Central's
be on
2,
with
Mountains 1,
Australia
East Coast
here
3.
soon.
Australia's
Like 18
13.
hours.
13.
Oh, is it 13 hours?
wow.
13
Yeah.
hours.
And it's like another day in Australia.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're into Monday
tomorrow.
already.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have a recording with
weird.
someone coming up that's in Australia, and when we
Nice.
do it, then they're gonna
We
be the
actually have
next
2.
day. We have 2 coming up.
We have 2 coming up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. You're
Yeah.
both Australian VSG patients. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. So I'm excited.
So
for-
then we don't have to announce anything for his. So it's just gonna be YouTube and
Yeah.
Patreon.
Yep.
For events
Nothing.
wise.
Just
yep,
nothing.
no live shows.
Yep. No live show. We'll be done with them.
Yeah.
For the time being.
Yeah,
So.
because we do Las Vegas and then Austin and then San Diego.
Good job. You got them in
I
order.
got
order.
it
Good
right.
spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm
So.
excited to go to all the places.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Vegas is going to be fun.
All right. You guys
It'll be
ready?
fun. Okay.
Count us down.
Welcome back, OSLP family. Welcome.
You are listening to our Sleep Life podcast, and this is Kelly.
This is Mel.
And as of course, we always have to start our episodes with reminding you to go over to Patreon.
Yes.
Go to patreon.com/OSLP.
And pick your tier.
Pick your tier
That's
and
right.
help support your girls,
That's right.
because at the end of the day, we want to just meet everybody.
Meet everybody and break the damn stigma about
Yes.
weight loss surgery because
Yes.
it's still there.
It is still
Still
there.
there.
We're still fighting against it. We did get a message from a surgeon in Florida, his
Ooh.
wife,
Oh.
and she said that we are doing a fantastic job at helping break the stigma.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yes, it was very sweet. I
How
was
cool.
very excited to hear that.
Yeah.
So she said, keep doing what we're doing because it's going to work.
All right. Well, that's what we'll do then.
Yes. So in order to help break the stigma,
right, we need your help.
you to go over to Patreon and help support your girls.
That's
we have
right.
tiers all the way from $1 to $50. You can pick whatever tier you want.
Mhm.
You get benefits for every tier, but our favorite tier
That's right.
is the $7
Because
or
it's
higher.
the benchy tier.
It is the benchy tier.
Yeah.
We love it because we have a special support group that is on Facebook groups,
Mhm.
and you can legit post whatever you want as long as it is helpful, supportive,
Mhm.
and you don't say anything negative.
I mean, you can talk negative if something bad's
But
happening.
to
and you're
somebody else.
Yeah, you just no judgments, guys. No judgments. That is the
And,
rule.
Yeah, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
That is right.
And then where else do they need to go?
We need you to go to YouTube. We need you to go to YouTube. If you don't know what YouTube is, what's wrong with you? We use it all the time for even like for educational things. Go to YouTube and then you just type in Our Sleep Life Podcast and you click subscribe and you hit the bell because all of these videos that you are listening to will now be videos on YouTube and they drop every Tuesday.
Yes. And if you want those videos early, if you want episodes early, you also go over to Patreon.
Yeah, they get the audio a couple days earlier with no ads.
No ads.
That's right. We have some ad stuff like on our page now. So you get those with no ads and you get the videos 10 days early.
Yes.
So there is benefits to be a patron.
There is.
So yeah, every Tuesday they drop new episodes. Kelly has been making to where I cannot drop episodes just because we have a new studio and we don't want to do the reveal yet.
So we are waiting. We are waiting to drop video. So you get audio only right now, but video will be dropping soon. We have one more piece that is coming into our studio and it is being delivered supposedly on Wednesday.
So we're excited.
Yes. And I realize that you are not going to hear this until like 2 months after.
Yep,
it's fine.
It's fine.
Kelly says it's fine. But that is why we have you should be able to see all this.
All the things.
So we don't even need to talk about this part.
No, we don't. Sorry, guys.
So let's fast forward to who we have on today.
I know, we have an awesome guest.
Now, we have had a long road to get to this point.
Yes, we have.
Because there's been lots of reschedules.
Yes, there has.
And now we finally get Dad Rob. And if you don't know who Dad Rob is, what the hell's wrong with you?
Seriously.
Yes.
You're going to have to follow him. His handle will be in the description. You can click on it and go follow. So go do that right now.
Yes.
Because he's from Philly. He's a history teacher. He's freaking awesome.
Yes.
So welcome on, Dad Rob.
Yeah.
What's going on, ladies? How we doing today?
Good.
Ready to talk about all the things.
Yeah, because we know
All
a little
everything.
bit because you have been on the guys panel.
You were on the first guys panel.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to that episode. Fun group of people. Links in my bio if you ever need it. So yeah, just a fun time. And you guys got to see how nuts I was. Even in compared to 4 other men in the weight loss community.
True story.
I mean, but you stood out.
You did.
I mean, you stand out to us, and we
Like
had
a
to have
loud
your
tie.
own episode.
Yes, like a loud tie. This is the one episode that probably will get deleted, but this is the good one.
This is the good one.
people.
Yeah.
This is going to be fire.
Fire.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because I kind of want to start with you is like, because we have a really funny story about like getting surgery, but
waking up from surgery.
But let's go a little bit behind the scenes of why did you even get surgery? How long did it take for you to even decide to get surgery?
Oh my goodness. So I have like everything we can go through.
Yeah.
So I am a teacher. I was a dean of students at a North Philly school for a while. And to say that we saw a lot of trauma is a very major understatement. That definitely affected me in some of the ways that I kind of self-soothed myself was through food and alcohol. And it only took 5 years of therapy to figure that out. So,
wow.
Yay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Therapy
long
works.
time fan of it. Yeah. It only takes like 5 years for some of these things. Turns out there was a reason I was always so angry. So, anyway, long story short, I gained about 100 pounds over like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And I kind of was just living the good life. I was married and I joked that I had like the Kevin James situation going where I was the big guy. My wife is attractive and everyone just kind of notices that. It's like, oh, attractive woman. And there's Rob. And it's like, yeah, here I am. So, like I carried my weight well. I didn't think anything of it. And it was the funniest thing. I'd have a Fitbit and I would literally weigh myself daily and be like, oh, look at that, another 4 pounds. Hey, look at that, another 3 pounds.
Really?
Oh, 2. Wow. Oh, yeah. So I let that number.
So you
my
knew.
Fitbit is freakishly accurate of how big I got.
Okay.
Up to 365 pounds.
Wow.
Which came to a summertime. I went to a pulmonologist because I snore horribly. And he said, quick heads up, you're burning out your CPAP machine. And in true big man fashion, I said, okay, well, we'll just go to the next size up, right? And he's like, no, I don't think you understand. You're at the industrial grade CPAP machine. Like you're at the big boy. There's nothing bigger than this. And I was like, oh, so what do we do next? He's like, well, there's a good chance that you may just go to sleep and not wake up. And I'm like, oh, like sleep through an alarm? Like, no, you're going to die. So yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wait, that's the ultimate prize. You're going to die at the end.
There's different levels of a CPAP machine. I had no idea.
There are levels, yes. And I won. I got to the big bad. And,
wow.
Wow. So how long were you on the CPAP machine for?
I still am. That's the crazy part.
Okay.
We could go down that rabbit hole, but I really thought the weight loss would happen and fix everything. And it turns out I still have sleep apnea. I don't have it to the point that I could die. I just have it to the point that it annoys my wife every time we go to bed. So it's that fine level that just causes the anxiety in the morning.
All right. I know that my boyfriend, so he had gastric bypass and he still uses his machine because he sleeps better because the man only sleeps like 4 hours a night. So right. I'm like, no. But if he doesn't have that, he sleeps even less. So he has to have that with him still. So
yeah. When I went for my sleep study, I only lasted 45 minutes from when I fell asleep. And they're like, we need to rush order you a CPAP. Like you won. You're good. Like you got it.
Okay.
Here, take this and please start wearing it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So in true fashion, I came home in August.
Okay.
My wife said, how did the appointment go? In true men's fashion, I said it went absolutely great. And I went down in the basement and said I had to do work, which for teachers, there's nothing to do. We don't get kids for another month. So she was kind of curious why I went down to the basement and just started researching and then did that awkward laptop close of like nothing when she would come in. But I pretty much researched weight loss surgery and what to do to lose weight fast. And boy, are there some fun links that you should not click on.
I bet, yeah.
But so made the appointment with my primary. My primary kind of mentioned that he had recommended it 3 times already in the last 3 appointments, which I have no recollection of, but it's in the notes. So
shit. So he has.
It's amazing what you suppress down when you don't want to hear something.
Yeah.
3 times it was recommended and you didn't even remember it.
So like 3 years of saying like, hey, you should probably stop this. And that's the charm. 3's the charm. So.
Okay.
I remember my rheumatologist pointing it out twice before I actually took it seriously.
Yes.
And hers was more like, you should look into it. It could be a good option. Cause I mean, you weighed every time you went in because every month when I go in for an infusion, they weigh you. And I was always like, well, whatever. The scale's wrong. And so she would see the climb every month of me gaining and gaining and gaining. And so she finally said something and I was like, no, that's not for me. That's not for me. Or I'll look into it.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was like the worst dieter ever. I was that person like, you know what? I'm going to get into wedding shape when I got engaged. I gained 60 pounds. Gained 60 pounds.
Wow.
You want to see an awkward engagement photo to wedding photo? I'll put that up in a little bit. It's like literally the worst transformation Tuesday that you could put in the weight loss.
Oh no. What did you?
I tried all the wedding cake. All of it.
Oh yeah, so, cake is a son of a bitch. Yeah,
everything. Well, you just keep saying, "Oh, I'll get to it," and then the best way to lose weight after your wedding is go to an all-inclusive for like 7 days. So.
Of course.
Oh, true. Because the buffets and
all the food.
Yeah.
Or go on a cruise.
Yeah.
Or go.
Oh yeah, I couldn't get back into the boat when we went snorkeling, and that wasn't even the red flag yet. Yeah, so you hit these points where it's funny. You completely take out of your mind this idea that you've even gotten that big.
Right.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, that's weird. Like a glass bottom boat can't get me back in. Like it took 2 of the workers at the all-inclusive to get me back into a boat. I'm like, that's odd. No one else needed this. And then you realize they had to get me out of the water. Like a tuna. So
like a tuna. Oh my goodness. And that didn't even phase you. That didn't even click.
No, you think getting a net to get you out of the water would phase you, but no, it's awkwardly weird that your body just says, no, you're good. So keep going. Then, just had wife and kids came about and just kept gaining weight. And then we got to that point. So.
Wow.
So, go ahead.
And you said that your job was because of all the traumas was making everything worse too.
Oh yeah. So it was very common, to just, you get to Friday, it's the happy hour, you do everything else. I was working at 6 a.m., getting in till about 7 p.m. at night.
Oh, wow.
Between night school, Saturday school, additional programs you do. yay, teachers, let's keep up the good work there.
Oh,
But
Jesus.
it was a very quick and easy way to, I'm just going to go get Wendy's on the right.
Mhm.
I'm going to go get
Mhm.
McDonald's. And,
Mhm.
I would rack up 600 in fast casual a month, like
Oh,
a
wow.
month
A
on that.
month.
So
Oh,
That's a car
wow.
payment.
Yeah.
that I actually built
That's-
this entire basement out to like my own home gym and everything, just from the money I saved from not going to McDonald's. But
Holy shit.
yeah, yeah.
Well, there
So
you
when I
go.
started, when I started this whole process, I also did Dave Ramsey for like financial planning
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything.
Okay.
Because it turns out not only do I eat, I use food and money for therapy.
Okay.
So I would just spend my problems away.
Yeah.
So I cut both at the beginning of the pandemic. And boy, is that a fun thing to do, is lock yourself in a house and say you're not going to eat or spend money when the whole rest of the world is ordering in and doing Amazon Prime.
How did
So,
you handle that?
I'm kind of wondering that same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how would you handle something like that? That's intense to do to yourself.
You know what? It was funny. So I have a Boba Fett piggy bank that I
Okay.
keep. And every time that, yes, I love Star Wars. So
I get
it's,
it.
yeah, it's just gonna slide that in. and keep
No,
it pushing.
no judgment coming from the girl that just received her Harry Potter Scentsy. I'm just,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
exactly.
I mean,
no,
there's
no ego, amigo.
I have a
We're in the trust
lightsaber
tree.
on
We
my
said this.
finger. We're totally fine.
Ex-
Boop, boop, boop.
There it is.
I do. It's
Wow.
purple. Got the purple one.
It is there.
Mhm.
For those of you listening to the podcast, Mel put up a finger. It was the index.
That's right.
Index?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Yes.
It is. And I got
Nice and safe. And there's a lightsaber.
There's a purple lightsaber. My husband has a red one. So now we can
There you
have
go.
we can have little lightsaber fights. It's great.
There you go.
It's a lot of fun. And we do
There
the
you
noise.
go.
We're like
So-
boom, boom, boom.
only
Yeah,
Mel-
see,
only Mel and
I
Eric.
do that in my house and people just think I'm nuts. So,
I love it.
it works well.
I love
It works
Side
well.
note, when we were in Florida in July,
Mhm.
we actually stayed at a Star Wars like condo,
Oh, a themed. Yeah, it was a themed
and it
condo.
was
That is
like
phenomenal.
the whole thing was Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like the bed was like one of those floating beds, and then it had the lights around it, and the lightsabers like were on the wall
wow.
and they lit up. Like it was
pretty cool.
it was insane.
Yeah,
Insane.
our fridge was like R2D2. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was
that's
real
like
cool.
my heaven.
Yeah.
That's my
You
heaven.
would love it.
You know.
We'll send you the link.
Exactly. There we go. Boomtown. There we go.
Boom. Vacation time.
Okay, back to you.
Back to your Boba
Okay,
Fett.
so Boba Fett. Piggy bank.
Yeah. So anyway, so anytime I didn't go to Taco Bell, Wendy's, or any of the big boys,
Mhm.
I would take $10 and I'd put in the piggy bank. And then
Okay.
like after a month, I had $750. So I was kind of
Damn.
like, wow, I've got $750. I bought a treadmill, put that in the basement. And I was like, I wonder how many times I could do this. And then
Yeah.
we completely refinished our basement. We have desks for both my kids to work
Nice.
down here. So they do homework while I do tutoring.
Wow.
And then we have a gym like all in, and we just put in a fireplace. So it's actually
Ooh.
not freezing. I know. I know.
Fancy.
I love it.
Yeah, it's literally the basement that Ronald McDonald built. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
100%.
Mickey's.
yeah, build on burgers. But what it taught me from really tracking not only my food and my money,
Mhm.
I was eating 5,000 to 7,000 calories Monday to Friday. And that was me eating on point.
Whoa.
5 to 7,000.
Okay.
On the weekends, when I included alcohol, I could get anywhere up to close to 8 to 9,000. So it was one of those. Yeah.
that makes
yeah.
more sense
I'm
why you gained so
shocked.
fast. Yeah.
And it was one of those things like just looking and tracking the calories. I had a real coming to moment for me of I'm killing myself.
Yeah.
I'm financially bankrupting and emotionally and mentally bankrupting myself on my own actions and behaviors. And
Yeah.
I gotta give credit to my wife. Like I had to do the budget meeting with her, and I'm like, this is weird because it's the first month you just do it to see where is the money going.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I had to openly say, I'm spending $700, $600 to $700 in fast casual, and God bless her, she didn't judge. She just kind of said, like, how can I help?
Aw.
And yeah, my wife is a true saint. But it was one of those that, I'm very grateful. She didn't see it as an issue. She saw that I had a problem. We needed to fix it. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I cut cold turkey with it, but it was one of those that some days I bring the $10 home, and some days I fought the good fight, and I came home with like $275.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So this
but-
was before surgery.
This is before surgery. I
Yeah.
lost like 50 pounds just doing that before surgery.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was great. I went in for surgery and, it's like 5:00 in the morning. And the surgeon's just like sitting there, like ready to cut you up. And he's like, hey, I see you're down 50 pounds. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you even think you need this surgery? I'm like, and you're kind of on the fence because a lot of people aren't. He's like, I'm just kidding. We already did the insurance paperwork. We're slicing you. So
Did you have to do the
count
liquid
backwards from
diet?
100. Now she goes.
Now she goes. Did you have to do that liquid diet like prior?
Of course. I almost ate a dish towel. That was
Oh.
like the fun part of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
tell
You
us about
anyone,
that.
anyone who tells you that the liquid diet is like easy is lying.
Yeah.
They're lying to you people.
Mhm.
The first day you totally are fine because you have that adrenaline of like, I'm going to do this and this is great.
Mhm.
And by like day 5, I wiped up like a pizza mess of the kids. And then I looked at the towel awkwardly and I've never looked at the dish towel.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
may have tried to eat trash hovering over the trash can, or no, eating food over the trash can hovering. But
Yeah.
going to put the dish towel in my mouth, my wife is like, "What are you doing?" And then like I had to have that come to moment with her of I was going to bite the dish towel and
Yeah.
get the cheese and sauce off it. And I don't know how I'm still married. I don't.
Yeah.
Because she
don't.
loves
She
you.
loves
She
you.
cares.
That is a
does.
true
She
testament to
does.
love.
We watch our husbands do the weirdest shit. Not gonna
Oh,
lie.
she does every day. She does
Mhm.
every day.
And vice versa, because I'm goofy as hell, and Eric has to deal with that too. So it's the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when they care about you, they don't care. They're just like, hey, how do we help you? How do we fix
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. Or they just look at you and they're like, "You're adorable.
Yep.
You're adorable."
My
Exactly.
wife is also really good where she's like, look, we're going to meet new people at our kids' school. Don't say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah.
Think to yourself, would a normal person say this? Or is this going to get you in trouble later? And the answer is yes to either one of those. Just don't say it. Just say
Nice.
the weather is fine.
The weather is
So-
fine.
Always
Oh,
weird when someone asks, what do you do
love
for a living? And you just say the weather is fine. But it works, people. So, yeah.
You know what? Whatever works
that.
in
Yeah,
that
yeah.
response. So when you first looked into surgery, you found your surgeon. How did you
Yes.
find your surgeon? Was it through?
So I'm a moron. I'm just
I
going to
don't
put,
think I'd say moron.
Mm-mm.
no, because I schedule. My wife works for a major medical hospital in the Philadelphia region, and I scheduled it with them. And her job is to check data and information through all there. So I scheduled, and my wife's job was to check my appointment that it got through the testing system.
Oh.
And I didn't tell her. So it's one of those like she's like, so got anything to tell me? And I was like, no. Because, in true fashion, figured I really thought I was going to sneak this by and just be like, oh, by the way, tomorrow I'm going for surgery. Peace out.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I was only off by 7 months on that calculation. So
Wow.
I
Only
was so
7
close to
months?
getting away with it.
Oh
Only
my
7
God.
months of a 7.5-month process to get my surgery.
Why did you want to wait? Why didn't you want to tell her?
I had shame. I
Yeah.
think for a lot of men, especially, we have this thing where the answer is always diet and exercise and just
Mhm.
buck up and do the
Mhm.
5 a.m. workout and stop eating like garbage and do more push-ups. And I've tried all that.
Right.
I still do all that. And it really, for me, was coming to terms with the fact that I have no problem eating healthy. I have problems with portion control.
Yeah.
I know exactly what to eat, but there's a motor that's on for me that kept going and wanting more food.
Mm.
And it was just bad nutrition information of, you should just be able to outwork whatever you eat.
Mhm.
And it was a cocktail failure that I wasn't ready to come to terms with.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's so true. Like that doesn't always work.
Mhm.
Whether you're
Yeah.
a man or female, like that just doesn't work sometimes.
Mm-mm.
Our body makeup is like, hey, I like the fact you're trying, but we're not going to budge.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
If there's one piece of advice I've learned, especially now that like I'm 18 months out, is you cannot outwork a bad diet.
Mm-mm.
So,
Mm-mm. no.
If you have a choice between putting together a good meal of whole foods and things that you love and proper balance and getting that extra workout in, go for the food because
Yeah.
ultimately that's kind of the magic.
It is. It is.
80%
Yep.
of weight loss is done in the kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely is.
So, and that goes back to when you first have surgery, you're following this strict diet. It's not a diet, but it is a diet.
Yeah.
And you're losing weight while you're not working out.
Mm-hmm.
So something can be said to that.
Oh, yeah.
And depending on what month this airs, diet is a good or bad word. So,
Right.
I think the odd months it's good, the even months it's bad. It's like yolks and eggs. I still don't know if those are healthy, but we're going to go through another 5 years and we're still not going to have an answer. But diet to me is just, what is it you eat?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else you explain it in one word of what is it you eat. And putting that together is important.
Yes.
It really is. And I mean, the diet culture really ruined the word diet because it is all about like the diet just means what are you eating? It doesn't actually mean you're on an actual diet and you're only doing low carb or keto or carnivore. It's literally, no, what you eating today?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I eat between 2,100 and 2,400 calories a day, and I am doing totally fine.
Yes.
And that is my diet, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not restricting. I don't go to bed hungry. I have a beautiful relationship with food that only took 18 months of surgery and 5 months of therapy and everything else under the sun to finally figure out that I don't have to eat every Girl Scout cookie that comes into the house. So
no, you don't.
Bitches.
No, and they're out right now.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw them yesterday at Lowe's.
I refuse to go to Craft Warehouse because I know those little bitches are in waiting for me and they're going to be like, do you want to buy a cookie? And I'm going to be like, of course, because I want to support your stupid ass. So I love the Girl Scouts. I'm just saying. Like,
so,
oh my goodness.
Don't come near me with your boxes of cookies.
Exactly. Here's $5. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's almost like, can I just donate and not get a box? I think that's what we should just start doing. Is just do that. Just donate the money.
Yeah, because those tag-alongs are fucking dangerous.
Mine's the Samoas.
Samasoas.
The Samasoas.
That's not actually how you say it because that's just how I say it. I say Samasoas.
The Moas?
The Samoas.
Those things, I say Samasoas.
Yeah.
I don't.
SoCal.
Yeah.
Samo.
Samoa.
Hi, you're now getting a history lesson from a mid-level history teacher in New Jersey.
I would not.
Boy, what a fun way to spend your day.
I love it.
I'm mid-level. You're high level.
No, I would say you're not mid-level. You're high.
Yeah.
You're up here.
I'm your friendly neighborhood BSG man. I like a very low profile. I'm like the Honda Civic. Like
that's what I love about you though, because like I have some like you remind me a lot of our friend Garth. And I could totally see you and Garth like chilling and hanging out. And I'm just like, oh, if Garth just saw Dad Rob's stuff, maybe he would be on board more with like VSG and stuff like that. Because most of my guy friends are not on board with those things. But I'm like, if you met Dad Rob though, you would be like, yeah, let's do this shit.
Yeah.
So
it's tough. Like I didn't realize how much my friendships went around food and alcohol.
Right.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I didn't have that to relate, to connect. It was, hey, we're going to go to the bar after work. Hey, we're going to go to dinner. And I had to really work on having conversations with my friends of what do we do now as middle-aged men now that I can't use food or alcohol. I was really excited. One of my friends got into doing DDP yoga with me. So we text each other at 5 a.m. in the morning to do our workouts.
Yeah. You're doing DDP yoga?
Yeah, that's how I get all those good moves.
What is DDP?
So it's Diamond Dallas Page. He's a wrestler from old school, like WCW era.
That's why.
And he's amazing, but he made this whole program, and he's helped people in the like wrestling world be able to walk again. Yeah.
Like Chris Jericho, Jake the Snake Roberts. He's got a bunch, but literally after surgery, I got cleared for, in true men's fashion. I got the surgery, and the first question I had, well, when can I start lifting weights? They're like, you're not going to lift weights for 6 months. I'm like, well, I need to do something with all my time. They're like, do yoga. And I was like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Like there's the stereotype of men doing yoga.
Yep.
Right.
So I literally was like, I still had back and shoulder pain. So I was still over 300 pounds.
Right. Yeah.
Point.
Yeah.
And I Googled like how to help with back shoulder pain workouts. And he came up and I started doing it. And, I can touch my toes. I can move. Yeah, I can actually move. It's a great thing.
Well, and it's interesting with yoga and men because men actually need yoga more than anybody because of how dense your muscles are, and the being flexible is very important for your guys' livelihood. It's so important.
It is. It really is.
Mobility.
I remember that when I first started doing yoga, because I couldn't touch my toes. I've never been able to touch my toes. And so my hands like would stop right below my knees. That was it. I could not move myself anymore. And I did yoga for 30 days. That was my goal for myself, is I wanted to do it every day for 30 days because Yoga with Cassandra had a 30-day thing, and it was like
Take the free
15
trial.
minutes. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
15 minutes a day. So I was like, I can do this. And then I ended up adding in other stuff. So I did like a full half hour. By the end of the 30 days, I could not only touch my toes, but put my hands flat on the ground.
Yep.
Like that's how much mobility I got in 30 freaking days.
Yes. So people do
But
yoga.
for so many people, men and women, prior to weight loss surgery, like touching your toes wasn't something that happened. Like tying your shoe was something that you'd have to almost scout out. You know what I mean? Like, okay, where's the bench? Okay, now I have to act like I'm doing this weird stretch. And then I like hitch my leg up and do it. And I remember, I started doing the yoga. And I was like, oh, I can touch the top of my foot. And then it was, I could touch my toe. I could get under my toe.
Yeah.
And then one day I'm in like Costco, because that's where all normal people act, is in a Costco. And I bent over and like tied my shoe. And I like got up, I was like, yes. And the lady next to me who had like 52 muffins are like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I tied my shoe. And as a 38-year-old, that's always,
you're like,
that's a big win.
That is a big
But
win.
to go back to what you were saying though, for the men needing the workout, I'm now officially at that age where I sneeze and something slips in my back and I get scared of something. So yoga has definitely helped that of, just being able to move my back when I sneeze and not have it hurt.
Yeah.
So,
Because if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
38, just turned 38.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Very,
because
very
your
nice.
birthday was what?
February 15th.
Yeah, it just
I
happened.
was like, it's not that far
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. Day after Valentine's Day.
That is so
This
cool.
is just 10 years of Philly public and all sorts of other things. Like life happens, and this is how you get this grade.
Well, you look very distinguished.
Yes, you do.
I do.
You
Yes.
do.
I do. I look like an 18th century like Civil War general.
I love that.
So,
Oh, you actually do. I never
you
thought
kinda
about
do.
that.
No, very, very distinguished.
Yeah,
in
I love
in
it.
a dry fit shirt and a cardigan sweater. That's what they wore in the 1860s.
They're cozy.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
So
Cozy.
my question is, how do we get more guys to do the freaking surgery? Like, how do we get men to understand that it isn't like just a girl thing or just for your vanity?
Yeah.
Like, that it's actually a health concern.
So one thing I noticed from when I was hosting Men's Support Monday on Instagram Live is it would be this weird thing that nobody would really come on to the first couple lives. And then you'd go back and check your viewership, and all of a sudden I'd get like 1,500 views. And like you can see who's viewing you. And it looks like all these weird, like, and I'm afraid that like they'll have initials and then because I don't want to end up saying like I don't want to out someone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it would be, you know what I mean? Like, but you would see like these weird, like 1 letter, 2 letter, and then like 4 digits at the end. And it turns out these are all these like dude Finstagram accounts,
Oh.
fake Instagram. The kids taught me that at school.
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes.
Yes.
Instagram. Okay.
It'll be completely out of style by the time this episode airs, but I knew it for a moment. But no, it was like this. If you build it, they will come. I would get like, I'd get thousands of people who are watching it, or people would share it. Wives would share it with their husbands. And you realize there's a lot of dudes out there who are getting it, who are considering it, but they're not building an Instagram account.
Gotcha.
They have constant questions. So it started to become, hey, I'd get a lot of DMs of just questions. What's this process? Or how do you do this? And it was one of those things that you realize there's tons of guys out there. They're just not putting it into the social media realm, but there's questions that they have. They need support just like anyone else.
Right.
And it's really powerful that I'm able to help who I can through this process.
And you're still doing the Mondays, right?
I am doing support. I'm in Barry Nation now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just because we had like weird internet trolls. Like, I don't know who's coming to a men's support group to make. Yeah. Like I'd go on the lives and you get these weirdos who would come in and be like, oh, just a bunch of fat dudes sitting around talking. And it's like, I don't know. Like, yeah. So it's a safer spot. It's more interactive. We still have guests that come on. But it's funny. Well, 9 out of the 10 of the people who come on are guys who really are considering surgery, had the surgery, just really want to talk. The 10th is always a lady in the community who just wants to see what goes on in men's support. So for anyone who's listening, it's exactly like lady support, except we talk about macros 99% of the time.
Okay.
So if you think it's like some fun, crazy thing that we do, it's more boring than female or both support. It's essentially workout questions. So.
Workout questions. Okay. Well, I want to step back a little bit to when you had the surgery, because I know there's a funny story here. So
we are 30 minutes in and I have still not answered question one.
Question one. So no, you kind of have, but
we bounce around.
Yeah, we do this.
It's like Billy Madison for everyone who remembers the 90s.
Exactly.
I love.
In no way, shape, or form did I answer this question. So.
I love Billy Madison. So when you scheduled it, your wife found out 7 months before.
Ooh.
Yes.
So what was what was the process of getting there, and then what happened after you woke up?
So I cannot speak more proud of Penn Medicine. They have a full process. They made you go to support group ahead of time.
Okay.
In true, like almost gang member fashion, you had to bring a friend into support group so they knew that you knew someone and told someone about it.
Oh.
I still keep my Bible like right here. Look, it's handily right here that I keep and do.
Oh, look at
but
that.
They have bariatric behavior goals. And at every check-in that you had to do, you had to start working in 2 new behavior goals at a time.
Okay.
Love that.
So it was small things like eat with a smaller plate, chew 25 times, sit down while you're eating, which, for some people that doesn't sound like a lot, but I didn't realize how much I ate over a sink or in front of the fridge. And it was just because I had to change the mindset around food and how I worked around food and go to support beforehand. I was really prepared when I got into surgery. I was so prepared that when I woke up from surgery, I hopped off the table and almost knocked out 2 nurses because I swung myself up. And, when you try to jump up off a table after surgery, people, they will restrain you.
Yes.
So,
yes, they will.
Yeah, they will restrain you. So I got a nice pair of fuzzy handcuffs that went to the side of the bed. And I had this like horrible chest pain. And I where like they tell you got to get up and move and you got to move the gas. And like I was so hyper focused, like, okay, if I get this gas out, I'm going to be fine.
Right.
And now I can't get up. And they're like, well, you can't get up until your heart rate goes down. I'm like, my heart rate is up because I'm anxious. And they're like, well, you need to calm down. I'm like, I'm not calming down until you move.
It's a double-edged sword.
I'm working myself up to this point. And eventually I'm finally like, look, you need to let me go. And I need to just move my abdomen enough so that I can move the gas and then I will be totally fine. And of course, it's weird in a hospital. The more you tell them to unrestrain you, the more they don't unrestrain you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Turns out there's safety protocols for this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So I did these weird like ab crunches. I'm not a doctor. No one try this after surgery, but I rocked myself so that I eventually let out a massive fart and burp, and literally the machines went back to normal. Like it was like burp, and then beep, and I was fine.
Nice.
So,
and then
that was the only complication I had. 3 hours later, but yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
They took their time.
They took their time.
I feel like that's legitimate.
Because did you wake up in the operating room trying to get up, or was this in your actual room? Oh.
Yes. So they were like, Rob, wake up. And like, I think they thought I was going to do this like gentle, like, hello, good morning, people. And I did that weird, like, like as a bigger dude, you like swing your feet out of the bed. I'm not going to be able to do this, but like I swung the feet off the side and then rocketed myself up.
Wow.
And the nurse was not ready for that.
No.
I got to tell you. So like the first nurse kind of caught it and then the second nurse caught her and then both had to push me back into the bed
oh my God.
to get me in. So,
wow. So you definitely did not do the Disney princess, like wake up and like
there was no adorable post-op pictures of me like, hey guys, sipping water, doing fine. It's literally like this guy needs to be kept down.
I really wish there was a picture out there somewhere of you being restrained.
I know.
I think
there are. I'll share.
Okay. I kind of, now that you've shared that story, I need to see all of the pictures that go along with that. Yeah.
It was a fun time. But no, it was one of those though that like I got out, I started moving right away, and it was the best advice I had. Like the moving really helped with everything, and then I was fine,
Awesome. Well, and how long were you in the hospital for? Did they make you stay overnight?
Yes, I did have to stay overnight.
Okay.
So they did this weird thing where they're like, oh, you have to drink 8 ounces and pee before you leave. And you're like, oh, I can drink 100 ounces in like a minute if I really had to because I'm a chugger. But how hard could this be? Yeah, and that's exactly how my wife did it. It's like, no, you're not going to win hydration. It is not a game.
Nope.
It is a
Yeah, it is not a game. It's not a game I like to play.
Nope.
No. So it took me like 3 hours to drink 8 ounces of water, which was nuts. And then they couldn't find a vein for me because I was still pudgy.
Right.
And, there just wasn't a vein to draw the blood to make sure I was good. So then like I had to wait a little bit longer, but I got out the next day. I was totally fine. And I followed what my doctor said. I can't stress enough. It's the biggest advice everyone has. For me is they're like, when can I lift weights? I'm like, not till your doctor clears you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because everyone's different on that one. Like it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, but you need to talk to your doctor.
I was 6 weeks before I could go and like walk on a treadmill and stuff. And like she was very specific of like, you don't work out, you just let your body rest and heal.
Yep.
And then she cleared me for that. I was so excited when she did clear me.
Dr. Patterson, which I don't think I actually told this before, that she put it to where I couldn't drive for the first month. No driving.
That's weird.
Yep. No driving.
That's very strange.
When
I drove like 2 days later.
Because after 2 weeks of being home, or 10 days, whatever you want to call it, then my mom took me to work for the next 2 weeks.
Weird.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Right?
That's a
I had good time with my mom in the mornings. Totally fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My mother wanted to stay with me longer. And it was a nice time to have my mom around. But then we kind of did the pivot of why don't you take your grandkids out for a little bit?
There you go.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm lucky. My parents have been very supportive and checked everything with me. So
oh, good. And you got the sleeve done, right?
Yes.
Yes.
VSG.
VSG. Yeah. Okay.
So you had the conversation with your friends of what else can we do besides eat and drink? So what did that turn? Like you said, one of them is doing the yoga with you. What other?
So I do yoga with one. My other friend, Tom, I call him like my mean accountability partner. He's the guy who's like, yeah, your weight's up and let's guess why. And he checks it in the best way that like friends can do. Okay. It comes out of a good spot. And he was also a guy who like day 3 out of surgery, he's at my house and he's walking with me.
Oh, cool.
My brother and his friends invited me to play pickleball, which when it's nice out, we go and play pickleball together.
What is pickleball?
It's kind of like if tennis and badminton had a kid they didn't want to own up to.
Yeah.
And that's essentially, it's like tennis for people who can't play tennis.
Got it.
Because it's against a wall, isn't it?
No, that's wall ball.
That's more like wall ball.
So
okay.
And squash. Squash is against it.
That's
pickleball is like it's like a miniature tennis. It's like a miniature tennis court, and the ball is made of plastic, and you pop it. And
when we come out there, can we play pickleball?
Yeah,
we're playing pickleball.
Okay.
We're going to make Philly pickleball a thing.
Okay,
all right,
all right.
I'm down.
I want to play. I've never played, and I'm not very athletic, but let's try it out.
You know what though? It's a fun game, especially starting out after surgery. That like you can pick up relatively quickly. Okay. It's super inexpensive. And it's like a cheap, easy outdoor activity. So
got it.
I had friends who were doing that. I had other friends who would walk with me. I have friends who I bike with. Like it's interesting watching how the whole dynamic has changed. And we still go out to, the bar when we can, and we still have parties and do the fun stuff that adults do.
Right.
But it's nice to know that they kind of met me halfway.
Yeah.
And do that. And that came from having a lot of conversation, me having to take them to therapy to see that there's dudes out there who struggle with this and don't have the support.
Yeah. Because it sounds like your friends were like pivoted real well. And they were like, okay, we're not doing this anymore. We're doing this. And they supported you like to their core, because I know like I've lost several friends because our whole existence was surrounded by food.
Right.
Or, sitting on our asses, eating food and drinking. Like, and those were 2 things that I had to give up. And then there's other friends that are completely supportive. So, but it sounds like all of your friends pivoted with you.
So the best advice that I can give is, I journaled a lot.
Okay.
And the Bible that they gave me at, Penn it's not an actual Bible. I'm not writing in a Bible. I'll go to hell for a lot of
He's not
other reasons,
desecrating a
but
Bible.
I haven't desecrated a Bible
It's
yet.
a bariatric notebook.
Yes.
Yes, the bariatric notebook. If only they had a name like that.
Right.
Yeah. So I put in my bariatric notebook, I starred the data that made me realize that two things mainly. One is you have something like over a 50% better chance if you have friends and family who support you in your decision. And the other one is it takes over 7 years of living the lifestyle of a weight loss surgery patient to really regain numbers at less than 10%.
Right.
So the next 6.5 years are the most critical of this process for me. And it was one of those that when I explained those numbers to my friends and I had the conversation with them of this is why I'm getting this surgery, they got it.
I love
and,
that.
You know, they look at it as for the next 7 years, this is kind of what we're doing. And after that, we'll still do it, but they know how important that number is. Every day 7 of the month, I always put up like the next 7 years, you know, determines the rest of my life. And it's because it does for so many of us. And Mel, it's why I always like super root for you because you're at 6, right?
Yeah, I'm about to hit 7 in May.
The light is at the end of the tunnel. Is May 7?
Yeah, it's May 13th will be 7 years.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
I'm so proud of that. And
Thank you.
What you're doing inspires like me and both of you of getting out and helping the community keeps you on track.
It does. It really, really does. Because like having this podcast has helped me tremendously not go like backslide because I'm in the community. I'm facing the things every single day. And I can't justify telling people to do things and not do those things. Like I'm always preach, like practice what you preach. You have to do those things. So yeah, like it's kept me like on it. Like I'm like, oh, you got to check your water. You got to check your protein. Am I getting enough sleep? Where's my vitamins? Like it's the whole thing. And then when you posted that, I was like, no way, that's a real stat. Like I'm getting close to that. This is crazy. Yeah. Like I was so impressed that like I was impressed with myself because I didn't realize how hard actually it is for people to get to this point. Like I've been through my own struggles, but I didn't realize like, oh, there's a marker that means if I hit this and I will be okay.
Yeah.
Like
because
you're at Wonder Woman status. You develop the habits, behaviors, and patterns that are going to build and manifest your success for life. This isn't a fad for you. This is your lifestyle.
Yes.
And like Kelly, I see everything that you're doing and making the right choices. No, but seriously, like even with going to the grocery store and saying, even though I'm in a new location and I don't normally eat here, I'm building things around me for success. And you're changing your environment to be successful. And that's so important to have that long-term success. Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge inspiration.
It's constantly in your brain because you don't want to be that statistic where you gain all your weight back.
Right.
And
I do not want to be my cousin's sister's boyfriend's aunt's uncle's mother's sister who had the surgery and gained it all back in 2 years.
Exactly.
Because everyone has that. And then it's funny, you ask them what their last name is, because they'll always tell you like, oh, it's my cousin's sister's aunt's uncle's mother's brother's sister's friend. Steve had the surgery and gained all back. And you're like, what's his last name? And it never comes up.
Yeah.
Never comes up.
Yeah. Nope,
and that's how I combat that is, you know, I'm just like, well, what's their last name? And can I talk to them to see what went wrong? And sorry, Kel, I kind of jumped on your point. But
no, I like that though.
I do like that. I actually ran it. So funny story. When we bought these chairs, I had to go in and grab them because Mel was working. And we had already sent back the other chairs. And so I had to go down that day and get them. And so I'm standing up at the front counter and I'm there. The girls were asking me like, oh, these are great chairs. Like, what are you using them for? So I was like, oh, I run a podcast with a friend of mine and we're redoing the studio, blah, 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 blah. And
which looks lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you. The lady in the cash register next to where I was checking out, she's like, oh, I had weight loss surgery. What one did you have? And I'm like, the sleeve. And she just looks a little blank. She has no idea. She's like, I had something done. And I was like, first of all, woman, how do you not know what surgery you had?
Seriously.
And I was like, oh, well, how, like, you look great. Cause she did look great. I mean, she was like a little bit overweight, but you know, I'm a little overweight. So I wasn't going to judge. And so she was like, yeah, I lost 20 pounds and then didn't lose anything else. And I'm like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I wrote down the name of the podcast and I handed it to her. And I hope,
I hope you're
I
listening
pray-
right now.
I pray that you are listening and you got a little bit more clarity on what you had done to your body. But it was very weird. But I
Yeah.
was like, I kind of wanted to be like, well, what was your surgeon? What did you go through? Because I really think that a lot of people think that they had something done, but they're not quite sure of what it is.
Yeah.
And so, but I couldn't go into detail with her, and I wasn't going to do that while she was working because she was
And
working there.
I think bariatric surgery's come a long way even in 10 years.
Yeah,
Talking to my surgeon, it's gone from the dreaded lap band that we all heard about.
Mhm.
You know, and I was lucky. I had two of my former bosses had VSG. Like they
Oh,
were some of
wow.
the first people to have VSG
Wow.
through the health system. So to have bosses like at
Mhm.
your work who understood this is what you're going through and
Mhm.
this is what you need to do, they were super supportive. They really helped guide me, but it's
Mhm.
also tough, I think, for a lot of people if you don't have those supports in place and you don't have a community,
Mhm.
and more importantly, you don't have people that look like you.
Mhm.
It's tough to really connect. Like, there's
Yeah.
not a lot of dudes out there. Like, you know, the three of us, we all talk. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so if you're
The
that
three.
fourth, slide into the DMs.
Have you had any friends that had issues with this? Anybody come up?
None that I keep.
None that I
You know,
keep. Yep.
it's never the ones who I really care about or who really cared about me that I
Mhm.
lost
That
in
makes
this
sense.
process.
That's kind of what we've
I'm-
lost too.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very lucky. I really have evaluated who is important, who isn't important, how are we treated.
Mhm.
And I make time for those who do, and those
Mhm.
who don't, I just realize I don't really need them.
Mhm.
So,
Right. I think the surgery really helps people's like mind open up to like who actually like is helpful to your life. You know,
Mhm.
like who's really supporting you, who's really cheering you on,
Mhm.
and who's really sabotaging. Like, because
Mhm.
there are two folds to that.
Mhm.
And normally when you start realizing, oh, these people sabotage or they're just not healthy for my like lifestyle, then they just kind of slowly go away.
Mhm.
And I've noticed for me, it almost feels like a weight's been lifted.
I think that it also gives me a way of looking back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of like, okay, so I had surgery 2 years ago. Where were they then?
Yeah.
Because I can name on one hand how many people were in my corner during that first year.
Yep.
And a lot of them I don't talk to anymore.
Mhm.
Or, you
And
know, that aren't those
Those
five.
five. Yeah.
and I think whenever you go through adversity, the best thing about adversity is you really get to see who's in your corner and who isn't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if you really go back through your life and you look at those adverse times, it shows a lot of who you are as a person, but also who supported you as a person.
Yeah.
Mhm. Exactly.
And it really it keeps you on check of, is this person someone I want in my life or they don't? Because,
Mhm.
you know, people want you to do well, but they don't want, there's certain people who want you to not do as well as them.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's cute when you get close to them, but once
Mhm.
you surpass them and they're no longer rooting for you, that's a sign that maybe you don't have a proper relationship with that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just the support in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know being bedridden, I couldn't go and do things. So when people stopped inviting me places, that's a red flag.
Yep.
And then
Mhm.
when they never asked me if they could help me in any way, like, come on, people, I'm fucking bedridden.
Yeah.
Like, you think you could like be like, hey, do you need your dishes done? Or hey, why don't I make you a meal? That
Yeah,
would be fantastic.
Because I would come over on Thursdays and make you a scramble.
Yep. You
Yeah.
would make me a scramble and we would
Mhm.
hang out and we would just lay in my bed and do nothing and talk. But I mean, my sisters never did that.
Yeah.
Like ever. And I am like, okay, I can let that go. And then when I had surgery, did they ask me if I ever needed anything or if I wanted to go on a walk or anything like that?
No.
No. Okay. So that's another red mark. And then I remember our live show that we did locally. I told my entire family, I was like, this is mandatory. Take the time off. I need you there. Like, I need my family there. My mom and one of my sisters.
Yep.
That's it.
That's
So
it.
my other two, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of done with you. So you can just like
Yeah.
move off to the side now.
Look at the bright side. you have the clarity of knowing those situations
Mhm.
and knowing who was there and who wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And you have clear evidence of, look, this is when I told you it was important. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't I didn't outright tell you. You
Right.
had that conversation
Mhm.
and they didn't get it, you know?
Which is
So
sad. It's sad.
yeah,
Yeah.
But then on the
it
other
is,
hand,
but it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, if you look at our live show, we had so much support.
Yeah. It was
Like
so much
it
fun.
was a fabulous show.
Yeah.
And we were filled with people after a shit morning that I had that day of losing my dogs. Like I put my happy face on and I did the show and it was so much fun. We were filled, like I felt so happy being there because I knew I was in a room full of my people.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
everybody understood where I was coming from.
100%.
And that's why I love bariatric. Like
This community. Yeah.
the bariatric
so
community,
supportive.
all the events, like you just feel accepted and
Yeah.
there's no judgment of like what you went through to get there.
Well, in the 4 months that it's nice in New Jersey, we have the meetups outside.
Mhm.
Right.
And it's just nice to be around people who get it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
who struggle like you do, who understand that it's tough to have a conversation with a friend about
Mhm.
how your life's going to change, or doing the, hey, the only time we ever hang out, we're eating an obscene amount of food and drinking.
Mm.
What can we do then? And then you also realize, like, if we don't have anything else to do, why are you still in my life and vice versa? That's a tough conversation for some people.
Yeah, and I wanted to
definitely
touch
is.
base basically because like with the guy situation, it's almost easier to pivot to go do stuff that's physical because like you guys are kind of programmed with each other to like do activities together. So
Yes.
it's a lot more easier for a bariatric man to go like, hey, let's go play basketball, let's go play wall ball, whatever. Because like
We
you
get
guys
those black unitards they had in the old cartoons.
Yes.
We lift the barbells just right over our head and we grow the
Exactly.
mustaches out.
Yes,
100%. Because that's like kind of like in your nature of just doing activities together. And for
Mhm.
women, like all of us are like, oh, we talk, you know, we
We go to
we go
coffee.
to coffees and we shop and we go eat. And a lot of it's around drink and food and not being physical with each other.
Mhm.
And it's actually more foreign for us to be like, hey, you want to go play basketball today or go play
Mhm.
volleyball or whatever the deal is, because like we've never been in tune with that. Like
Mm-mm.
that's never been our dynamic. So it's like we have to learn how do we pivot to something different for activity wise.
Mhm.
Cause like guys can go do those things and it's very normal. Like you can
Although
tell your
shopping
spouse.
can be physical
I mean,
if you do it in the right way.
if you do it your way,
If you do it my way,
it's
physical.
long days of walking. I can't do it. I can't do it.
That's how you get your steps, though. But
I
I'll say
know.
this.
I know.
Walking is a great way
Mhm.
for anyone to just get movement in a community.
Yeah.
We do a walk every time we do the Philly bariatric meetups.
Mhm.
And they've actually done studies that people, when they're faced kind of how you two are, you know, shoulder to shoulder facing in one
Mhm.
direction, you're more likely to open up than if you're having a
Mhm.
direct conversation
Mhm.
with each other.
Yep.
And for all of you on the podcast, I'm talking in true Italianese right now with my hands.
Yes.
They're waving and moving in the directions. of everyone.
Okay, I have to stop for just a second. So, in the Lemony Snicket, the series of unfortunate events, did you ever
Yes.
watch that movie with Jim Carrey?
I have children, so I've only seen it 1,000 times.
Okay, so when he is at the snake guy's house, the
Yes.
doctor or whatever, that's who you sound like.
Great. I sound like a snake villain of a children's movie of
Yes.
the 90s.
No,
Great.
it's just your voice. Like I
Oh,
was
so
like,
good.
why does your voice sound like something? I know who this is, and it just came to me. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yay, I'm a
Jim-
B-level actor.
It's Jim Carrey. Jim
No,
Carrey.
There we
he's
go.
A+ actor, my
Yes,
friend.
A+ actor. He just like way you're explaining things reminds me of him. I'm sorry.
I love it. I love because you're absolutely correct. I told Kelly about that scenario actually on the way to the live event that like if you sit like that side by side and have conversations, you're more likely to open up and tell more things if you are facing each other.
Mhm.
Because I took a genders of communication class and they said that if when you want to talk to the opposite sex, you need to sit side by side because a lot of men receive information way better if you are sitting that way. Girls like to
Mm.
face and like do eye contact, but it's different for them. Like you need to be side by side. And that works so well for car rides, for
Mhm.
walks. Like
Mhm.
I will divulge way more if we're doing side by side for sure.
I
So-
know that Yeah, the car rides
The
are a
car
thing.
rides are great.
Because me and Zach
I
will have.
probably heard it on your podcast, by the way.
Oh, maybe.
That's probably where I got this.
Yeah, it
Now that I
works.
realize.
It totally does.
Yeah.
Like me and Eric's has had really good conversations walking and car rides just from those. And like we're like normally if we were facing, we might have been in, like gotten into an argument. But now that you're facing different directions, you can actually process and think about things and then give them
You're
the
moving.
response.
The breathing is so important. You're moving your arms. You're getting all that stuff in. It's a
Yeah.
great way to just keep your body going.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because tell everybody about your steps. You have a whole
Oh yeah,
thing.
my fun steps.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I do 15,000 steps a day.
Yep.
I am on day, where are we at? Because I'm at 14,000 steps right now.
Oh damn.
And I'm at day 270. So when I get another 800 steps, I will be at 271 will be today.
Jesus.
The first time I did it, I went 214 days in a row. And then I missed it by 4 steps.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm still not bitter about that.
Not at all. You
that I
don't
missed
sound
it
bitter at all.
By
No.
4 steps. I don't remember, May 20th for any other reason than that I missed it by 4 steps. I've
Oh my
totally gotten
God.
over May 20th missing it by 4 steps.
How?
But
How?
yeah.
Now, how did you miss it by 4
I went
steps?
to bed like a human being. I didn't wake up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom. I didn't wave my arm an extra time like during the day. Like I lived a life of 15,000 steps and I missed it by 4
Oh my
because
goodness.
I thought I actually was going to like just be done. I went to bed thinking like, oh, I already hit it. So now before I get to bed, I furiously
You didn't
I sync
check.
it. I make sure 8 Wi-Fi's have connected to my Fitbit, my phone.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, because you went very long, over 200 days with doing that,
Yeah.
and I was like,
It's
how does
very
he
long.
not check before he goes to sleep? I would have just done it in place.
Let me tell you, everyone had like, here's 15 ways you could have gotten that last 4 steps. And I
shit.
was like, yeah, absolutely. Nah, you're good. You're good. I'm totally fine and over it now. But no, it was one of those that like I was ready to quit and not do it anymore. And I got such an outpouring of support when I put, I missed it by 4 steps. Don't expect anything out from here. And they're like, really? You're just gonna stop like that? And now I'm at day 270.
Look at that. Damn,
Yes.
you're gonna be hitting a year. I'm so excited for you.
In May.
Yeah.
In May, I hit a year.
There
So,
you go. So hopefully by the time this airs, you'll hit your 1 year.
of
Oh my
15,000 steps a
goodness.
day.
That would be
Perfect
insane.
kismet. We are here for that.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Because that does a lot for your health. Like, how have
Mhm.
you felt doing these? Because you don't always do them outside because it's so cold where you're at, right? So you're doing a
No,
lot of this on the
it's-
treadmill.
So in true fashion, it was one of those that I started. They wanted you in Penn's program was to try to get your movement up. So I'm like, I have my Fitbit. I'm getting about 7,000 to 5,000 steps a day. They're like,
Okay.
well, 10 would be a really nice number. And then I started researching, and they've done studies of like these villages in Italy and in Tokyo where people live longer. They get over 12,500 steps, like
Okay.
something around that number of if you're actively moving or in communities where cars aren't being used,
Mm-hmm.
you live longer.
Yep.
And that was kind of the goal of everything I did is I just wanted to live long.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let me go to 15,000. That'll make up for all the sins I had in the last 20 years. And hopefully somewhere I'll break even.
Yeah.
So I just started doing it. And it was weird. I started doing it. And in October, all of a sudden it had like a streak start on Fitbit. And I was like, well, that's weird. I'm at like day 28 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Halloween. And I got an alert of you only need 1,500 steps to keep your streak alive. And I was like, you know what? It's 10 o'clock at night. Like maybe I'll lose. And I'm like, am I really going to lose it on this? So I literally went out in my slippers and pajamas and I walked up and down the main street of our town where all the bars are. So people are literally glow sticks, like doing like the whole club Halloween scene. And here I am in a robe and slippers. I was like, oh, you went as a loony. And I was like, no, just actually technically, yes, I'm still walking. at 10:30.
You should have told him you went as the dude.
Yeah, I know. That's where we get the sweaters
That's
from.
right.
You know?
And
I
then
know,
you
it's,
hit it.
I'm just doing the Lebowski deal.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you're like, what is
I was
the
like,
dude?
what is
Yeah.
the dude?
Oh, how do
The
you not
carpet
know
really
the
ties in the
dude?
room. so.
Yeah. And so you hit it on Halloween, and then you.
I hit it on Halloween. And I just kept going
That's
I
freaking
love it.
until May
awesome.
20th. And then I missed it
And then you.
by 4 steps.
and then you
And that's all we
started the
have
next
for
day.
today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go have a good cry in my room.
Right?
I'm going to start
But no,
telling everybody
it's-
that stat though. The 12,500
Yeah.
is what you found when you did research.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I have
awesome.
no citing right now. As a true history teacher, I'll email you a Chicago-style book note
Okay.
that you can put in the show
Perfect.
notes.
I do
I'd love
appreciate
it.
that. Have you found any foods that don't agree with you after surgery?
Bread.
Bread. Well,
It's in true, yeah, and I still eat it. I still eat it and just feel horrible.
Okay.
Because sandwiches are delicious.
They are
So-
so
Sandwiches are
good.
life.
so good. Because what
Yeah.
are you tracking? Are you tracking just water and protein? Or are you doing all the things?
I do it all.
Okay.
Okay.
So I do meal planning and meal prep. So the difference between the two, meal prep is what everyone sees. It's like that. Here's your Tupperware containers.
Mhm.
Here's everything. For me, I do it a whole nother level of meal planning where I actually have meals mapped out until June for my school year
Wow.
of what we're going to eat so that I can order in bulk. I can do purchases. My pantry can be complete. I
Wow.
know. I get that look every
That's a
time.
lot.
We are
Long
not
time.
worthy. Like,
Tell you
Seriously,
what,
you
we're
are.
gonna do a stupid pet trick right now. For
Okay.
everyone.
This
I'm
is
pulling up my
impressive.
Google Calendar.
Okay.
You know, this is a fun party game for literally nobody. Nobody likes this party game.
It's a
when I
fun
go
party
out.
trick for us.
That's right. Because we've heard lots of different ways of people like, oh, just buy in bulk and then you can make the meal for the whole week out of it.
Mhm.
But you're
Yeah.
doing it at a different
Yeah,
level.
in true teacher fashion, I have it in a Google Calendar, and that
Yeah.
Google Calendar is a technicolor dream of workouts and my life, my kids' life, my wife's schedule, what we do as a family, and meal plan. So,
Wow.
Okay.
give me a date other than May 20th because I don't want to freak out online.
All right.
Just pick a date.
May
between now and
22nd.
June. May 22nd.
That is Kelly's birthday.
Yep. What are
May
you eating on my
22nd.
birthday?
What am I eating on Kelly's birthday?
Yes.
It's May 22nd. Oh, this is an easy one. That's a freezer raid. So a freezer raid that's the time of year where I use this beautiful freezer in the back. I have made meals so that whenever we have a snow day,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about my kids. I can either defrost something from the freezer or just throw chicken nuggets at them until they leave me alone.
There
Okay.
you go.
Okay.
Um, But here's what I'll tell you: the day after is jalapeno smothered pork chops.
Ooh.
That's going to be Monday, the 23rd, and on Friday the 20th is pizza night, and then let's see what we're having the rest of the week: Taco Tuesday, and then ribs on Wednesday,
Wow.
and that's kind of
Wow.
the schedule. So
That's
That's amazing.
That's impressive.
Seriously.
Yeah.
What made you do it that way? Like what triggered that?
So there was a lot. It was when I started to have to cook differently, I did for a little bit. I would cook a meal for myself and I'd cook a meal for my wife and kids. And that just got real old real fast.
Yep.
And it was one of those that I realized if I really wanted to make this a lifestyle and work, I had to find ways to make it easy. Believe it or not, talking to people on the internet is not a way that I make money. So I have to like work and tutor and
Yep.
do other things. So,
Mhm.
and wife and kids schedule is busy as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it was one of those, I would literally, anyone can do this. Go to Men's Health, go to Food Network, just put in like 30 healthy dinners and they have all these things.
Mhm.
And I would just grab them and we take summertime to be like the test lab. We try
Okay.
all these meals and 3 out of 4 family members have to like it.
Oh.
And so you
Smart.
get that feel. So it's one of those, then I started blending in of, okay, so if I'm doing my schedule, what are the bases we're going to eat? There's going to be pork one night. So there's pork chop night is Monday night. Taco Tuesday works easy. And then I can make nachos as a snack for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, nachos. You add the N in there. Ground turkey, taco sauce, and low-fat Mexican cheese.
Okay.
And I just don't eat it with the chips. And
There you go.
helps me hit my protein goal. Wednesday is always some sort of chicken meal. And then Thursday is shrimp. Some sort
Okay.
of fajita shrimp, shrimp scampi. Friday is pizza day. Saturday comes into barbecue in the summertime, or it's what I call like the stick to your ribs meals in the winter.
Okay.
So like chili, jambalaya, beef stew, and then I freeze it, and it's all back here and here. For all of you on the radio, I'm going to take the cans off.
Yeah. This is why you have to go to YouTube and subscribe so you can
So you
see
can
what
see
Dad
this.
Rob's doing right now. All right. So he's at his freezer. He's opening it up. This is look, there's like art on it from his kids.
I love
it's
it.
adorable.
It's so cute.
Oh, and look at
oh,
this.
Wow, they're all perfectly portioned.
Yeah, they're big
meals.
bowls that have
And
labels
there's
on them.
Labels. Oh my goodness.
That's so good.
Freaking, this is amazing.
And they're all in the freezer, ready to go. So that's what he's talking about, freezer day. So you just grab a meal
seriously-
out of the freezer.
Yeah, I feel like I am not worthy.
I know. This
At
is
all.
insane. That's
Like, I
beautiful.
I didn't hear a word you said.
Oh,
so
I know. We were just doing commentary.
That's
to all
right.
of your. When you pulled out the meals, we were like, there are labels on them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's the teacher organization level.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
For me, like right now, I don't know when we're going to get snow. So it's
Mhm.
nice to know on that day, we have to teach online and
Right.
I have to get my kids to teach online.
Okay.
So it's one of those of like, I have to be able to have my two daughters work on their classrooms, which are 5 feet from this desk where I'm teaching a class to
Yeah.
30 kids at a time.
Yeah.
And I have to feed them while I still shovel snow. And because my wife works in a hospital, she still has to go to work.
Yeah.
So
Oof.
I
thing.
can take one out when they call for snow. I defrost it. And then if I make it to springtime, it's freezer raid season. So it empties out the freezer for everything.
Okay.
And then in the summertime, I load it up with hamburgers, hot dogs, ribs. And it just becomes barbecue and the summer grill and the test lab.
I love that.
Wow.
And the test lab.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so good.
I love it.
But yeah, try new recipes. If it doesn't work for the people you eat with, get rid of it. And there's something as a father that I'd like to be able to say that, look, you have two options. Here's a healthy, sensible meal at
Mhm.
5 ounces of protein, half a cup of vegetable, and a quarter cup of a complex carb.
Mhm.
Or you can have a pack of hot dogs I got from Aldi for 59 cents. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
One
Pick
or
one.
the other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Oh wow.
Well,
But I love
choose
that
wisely.
you're teaching them the
Yes.
correct way to eat.
Yeah.
And you're not
Yes.
saying you can never splurge, like, because you have your Taco Tuesdays and you have
Your
your
pizza night.
your pizza night and stuff
I had
like
chicken
that.
and waffles for breakfast. this
Right.
morning.
Oh, that's
So,
right.
yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're not telling them they can't ever have those things, that it's
Mm-mm.
bad or whatever. You're just teaching them the correct portions. Were you?
And that
I'm guessing you weren't taught the correct portions growing up, or were you?
I grew up in an Italian household.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say.
food served every purpose of food was a reward, food was a comfort, food
Mm.
was bad.
Yep.
Someone died, people brought over more food.
Mhm.
That's how you get a freezer lifestyle. Is you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
it's that's where all the food goes when somebody dies.
Yeah.
And it was ingrained. My mother was an amazing chef.
Yeah.
She still is an amazing chef.
Mhm.
But I always joke, and she will not get mad at this, even though she will, because she brings it up from a post I put 3 years ago. She's like, "Why do you have to mention this?" So it's okay, Ma. I love you. But she always cooked with an elbow, meaning she would take the olive oil in the pan and literally use her elbow and
Okay.
ladle it so that it was covered, and food tasted delicious. that way.
Right.
Yep.
And it was one that, like, I didn't know a serving size of olive oil was a tablespoon until I was like 35.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because if you watch it on the Food Network, they do the same thing. They're always like,
Yeah, and that's why I say an elbow serving when
Yeah.
really it's a wrist.
it's a little bit.
It's a tiny
Yeah.
bit. But
yeah.
it was one of those things that I learned to cook from a mom and a grandmother. And my grandmother is 91 years old. She won't listen to the episode, so I have no problem. But she was that typical Italian grandmother. It's like, look at you. You're getting so big. You're like a blimp. You can barely fit in my furniture. She would bring out a special chair for me because she was afraid I'd break her antique furniture.
Mm.
But then at the same time, she's like, you're only having one meatball? What?
Yeah.
Is the food not good? Here, you have to have 2 meatballs, 10 ravioli, a neck bone, and 3 other pieces of
Yeah.
Meat to go
Oh
with.
my God.
So
Yeah. It's a culture thing. Like they.
yeah, it is.
Yep. They-
The best part was when the weight started to come off, and you think your grandmother's going to love it. And I go, Mom, look, I'm thinner. And she's like, I have to tell you, I have trouble recognizing you anymore. Not because I have dementia, but you actually have a face with features now. And I was like, thanks, Mom. I love you. Love you.
Oh, I remember
That's
my
so
mom
funny.
where the same
Yeah,
thing.
I was just thinking about that.
Yep, because there was like a slideshow going and she looked at the photo and then looked at me and she's like, wait, that's you? Hold on. I don't understand. And like, it was like a shock to her. And I was like, this is weird, Mom.
You're like,
Like,
Mom, it's
yeah.
it's me and your son and your grandson. Like,
Yeah.
of course it's me.
Me.
Like, who do you think?
She's like,
came
who
in?
is
like
that?
some random person just popped into our photo?
I
Like,
know.
no.
Just freaking Photoshop someone in for you, Mom.
Yeah, just to see if you notice.
Like, yes, that was your daughter.
And in family fashion, we have our family reunion on 4th of July.
Okay.
And, when our family does it, it's a typical Italian New Jersey 4th of July barbecue, which means it looks like the background scene of a cast of Sopranos.
Sweet.
So when you go through, everyone literally goes, I lost 20 pounds. Lost 20 pounds in this pandemic thing. I got it. Everyone has to tell you how much weight they lost when they don't see you for like a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, Cousin Bippy's down 20. You got to go see Cousin Bippy. He's doing the Atkins. No one's done Atkins in 30 years, but Cousin Bippy lost 30 pounds on it. Why didn't you just do the Atkins? But that's kind of how we we But
I love it.
did the keto.
and of course, there's 50 new types of food at every function that we go to.
I
That's
bet.
just how I was raised.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing, but me learning that you can have that day without the food was one of the most important lessons I've learned. And I'm trying to teach to my kids.
Yeah.
I don't know,
It's hard. It's so
I hope
hard.
it sticks.
Mhm.
Well, even like dumb stuff, like when my daughter gets straight A's, I'm like, all right, we're going to Wendy's. And then I'm like, no, we're not. I'm not
Yeah.
teaching you food as a reward, but that's my natural
First
response
instinct.
for everything is I'm going to reward you with food. And then I have to really check myself as a parent of
Mhm.
how are we going to celebrate success without making it about cake?
It's
I mean-
so hard because we try to do that with Dylan, and
Yeah.
Eric's like, but I want to take him to food. And I was like, I know that's your first instinct, but we
It
can't
doesn't
do
work
that
like
anymore.
Yeah.
We can't, that can't be an reward anymore. I'm
Mhm.
like, so like, we need to go like, hey, let's get you like a new shirt, some new shoes, like
Mhm.
let's go like experience something together. Let's go to the
Mhm.
zoo. Like we need to do it differently. Like we can still
Mhm.
take the money that we were going to spend on the celebration and just do it different.
Yeah.
Because it is really hard. Because instantly, Dylan's already ingrained of thinking, oh, if I did something good, let's have ice cream.
Mhm.
Well, let's do something good. Let's go to 7-Eleven and get some Starburst or whatever. So it's like, how do we break that habit?
Mhm.
And you all have to be on board. If you're not, then like, because me and Eric will go back and forth sometimes. He's like, can't I just do it this one time? And it's like, no. And I know that sounds mean, but no, we really can't. We can't.
I mean,
But
I
it's
find
tough as
myself
a
doing that
parent.
with my nieces.
I know. And I've gotten on you about that. And I was like, you
because
can't do that.
They come over, and my first instinct is, okay, we're gonna order Old McDonald. They called McDonald's Old McDonald. It's very cute, and I continue to call it that. I'm like, okay, we're gonna order Old McDonald for lunch, and then they can have whatever they want, and then maybe we'll go to ice cream. Like it's very like. I was doing it, and then I realized like just going to Target and buying them a new Barbie to keep in my house was just as effective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they don't give a shit about like they do about Old McDonald, but it's not like it's like the end all be all. They would much rather have a Barbie that they can come over and play with every single time they come to my
Mhm.
house. So
Exactly.
there's
And-
just little different tweaks.
Well, and it's always about time. They really just want to hang out with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we need to figure out how do we hang out without having food present at all times.
Mhm.
Yeah.
100%. I have noticed that. It's very hard to not bring food into it.
Yeah.
It's a challenge, especially
Mhm.
when, I always joke, I got to 365 pounds by having food in every part of my life.
Right.
And, I look at my birthday, it used to be a Mardi Gras of, well, we're going to these restaurants this night. Here's the night we eat at my parents' house. Here's the night we go out with my in-laws. Here's the night I go out with my friends. And I'm looking at it. I used to block out, and I can check it because I keep my whole dork life in a Google Calendar.
Yes, you do.
But it's like, I can go back and check and be like, man, I had like 14 different events
Mm.
that had to do with food that were surrounded by my birthday. Or
Mhm.
any milestone, you can see here's 5 days on average. I would
Mhm.
eat a caloric dump of food
Mhm.
to celebrate, or if I felt bad, here was the bender the other way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you're just riding this caloric
Mhm.
roller coaster that,
Yep.
got me to where I was.
When one of my old friends, the ones that it was all based on food. Like that's what our relationship was based on, was food. Anytime
Yeah.
I would go and visit her or we would go on a trip together, she would outline all the days by food.
Yep.
So it would be breakfast, we're having this. Lunch, we're doing this. Okay, then we're going to go here and have a snack. And then dinner is this. And then this is where we're going to have dessert. And every single day was like that. It was all based around what we were eating. And that mindset swapped so much for me because I was like, but I
Okay.
don't need, like, I can have a couple slices of salami and be fine. Like,
Right.
I don't need to base my whole day on one lunch. Sometimes, yeah, you want to have a special lunch or whatever. Like, that's totally fine. But you don't need to base your entire day and life
Around food.
these meals.
When you come to Philly, we're getting cheesecakes, or cheesesteaks. We're getting
Yeah, the Philly
cheesesteaks and
cheesesteak.
cheesesteaks.
Oh, and
100%.
cheesecake and cheesesteaks. I'm totally down
Yeah.
for both. And that's
I don't
totally
know why
fine.
this area has so many weight loss surgery patients. But no, we have an amazing food area.
Yeah.
But
Right.
when you go and travel, you should have one meal. But I guess what I really learned is like the Super Bowl. That
Mhm.
would start in the morning. I would have pancakes, sausage, egg. I'd pretty much make myself my own grand slam.
Okay.
Wow.
Then have a lunch of whatever, and then eat hot garbage all the way through the game. And it's like, yeah, I still eat hot garbage for the Super Bowl. I'm still eating wings and nachos and having a good time, but I'm making sure that like I'm working out in the morning.
Right.
I'm hydrating all day. I'm
Mhm.
hitting 120 to 150 grams of protein going into
Nice.
that event so that I'm not eating the table when I
Yeah.
go through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
It turns out that the vegetable tray, you can eat that. I always thought it was for decoration. And you can eat those.
Crazy, right?
And you don't have to dunk them in the ranch. You can just eat them straight up.
Yeah, I
can.
thought there was a rule that if you picked it up, you had to put it in the ranch.
You got to dunk.
Yeah,
Gotta
You
dunk.
got to dunk.
Gotta
yeah.
dunk that shit.
I'm fully unaware of that rule
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you can eat it without. Yeah, you don't have to have sauce.
What are some NSVs that have come your way?
Yeah,
Everything.
Everything.
I buy clothes.
Yeah.
that's a fun one.
You know, well, it's weird. Like my wife jokes that I'm so basic with everything because I'm like, I couldn't fit in a Patagonia 2 years ago.
Right.
So
No,
I
you
don't
couldn't.
care. Like, I want the trendy jacket. I own a sweater. Like, I couldn't wear a sweater because I would just sweat in the sweater
Right.
and it would smell weird. I don't sweat everywhere I go. It does. You ever smell a sweater when you sweat in it? It's
Yeah.
not fun.
When it's a real sweater, like what you have on, like a
Cardigan.
a cardigan, yeah,
Yeah.
there's some funky smells that happen.
I have
get
no
it.
clue, but
Kelly doesn't sweat though.
I don't. Like,
She even works
Wow.
out and like nothing happens. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
unless I have a hot flash, and then I'll sweat. But
She sweats.
it's
So
the
I found
inflammation in my body will get to a point, and then my body overheats,
And then you
Yeah.
finally sweat.
and then I sweat. Yeah, it's fine.
So I had a couple colleagues who used to call me Sweaty Santa when I started at my new job
Oh.
because of
No.
the beard, the gray, and yes, and because I had the round belly and everything else. Now I'm Swole Santa, and I'm like, yeah,
Ooh.
now watch it. So I go ahead
They
and-
first
Swole
off,
Santa.
I don't think anybody should ever name anybody that.
I
The
thought it was
Sweaty
like
Santa?
cute
Sweaty.
and endearing. That's
No.
that's the one thing about being big is we don't like the title big in front of our name
No.
as a name. You know?
No, not
or
at all.
Sweaty. Sweaty
Yeah.
is like a gross name for somebody.
100%.
Like sweat is not fun. Like that's
No.
why no,
Mm-mm.
gross. No.
Mm-mm. So
To those
Yeah.
to those people, no,
no.
no.
Nah.
Period.
So
No.
clothes. You're into clothes now?
Yeah, well, like, more than I was before. You know,
Right.
you go to the big and tall, you have two choices. Here's a polo shirt with a lime green stripe across your man breast.
Yep.
That's option one.
Yep.
Yep.
Option two is a plaid tablecloth that has buttons that'll go as a shirt. It comes in lime green or teal. And those are like that, like whoever designed big and tall clothes are just bullies. You know, so
Right,
like
yeah.
to have, and it's like, oh, by the way, this shirt's $79.99. So to buy clothes at like $20 a pop is heavenly.
Yeah.
I still like go like try to like ease into pants. And I realized like, no, I fit into these pants, but they look small.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, that ratio, man.
It's so different.
It's so different. Like I'll be
Mhm.
like, there's no way this is fitting. No.
And then it does. You're like, oh, I guess I
Oh,
am that tiny.
That does fit
This
me.
is
Okay,
interesting.
cool.
yeah. But the NSVs for me are just my life. I mean, I can run around and I tire out my kids before they tire me out.
Ooh.
I can get down into the lower cabinets without sounding like a Rice Krispie treat, and I can actually get myself up without a system of levers and pulleys
Mm-hmm.
to do it. It's just I got a new outlook on everything. It's that I enjoy getting up at 5 a.m. and getting my workout. It's
Yay.
a whole new life I get to live.
Because what does your
So-
routine look like in a day?
Well,
Oh my gosh.
That's the schedule.
I love it.
You know, I was wondering why you sounded so good on mic right now. And now that you've turned that, I know why. Because
Yes.
he has a
my
real
wife
mic.
got me a
with the-
microphone.
yeah.
So I have like a microphone.
It
and
sounds so
headphones.
good.
Yeah, I mean, you look very professional. I'm
I
just
know.
saying. And you
very,
sound
very dignified.
That's
sound
right.
very professional also. Yeah, because normally there's like breaks in it and like
Yeah. And you're
Yeah.
clear as day. I love
Yeah.
it. Anyways, back to
Yeah,
your
it's,
routine.
Because from having to teach online, it was one of those, I was a tech teacher before it was cool. Before the world shut down, I actually liked using a computer in the classroom.
Yeah.
But it was one of those that, like, if my kids have to hear me, I want them to hear the most perfect and crisp, nasally droning voice going over the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo.
That's right.
Because I stayed on content through everything.
I love it.
So anyway, quiz at the end for those of you still listening. But my day usually looks like Monday will be 5 a.m. I wake up, I start hydrating, I do arms and shoulders and 30 minutes of treadmill work. I then go in and do dawn patrol for my school. So I make sure that kids stay in the cafeteria. I then teach a full day. I come home. I take my youngest daughter to karate. My other daughter goes to dance. I prep Italian pork chops for tomorrow night for dinner. Then I have therapy at 7. I pick up my youngest Stella from karate. I pick my oldest up from dance. I have therapy at 7, homework club tutoring at 8, men's support at 9, and then I meditate at 10, and then I go to bed and do it again. So,
all righty. Dang, that's a schedule.
Wow. What are you eating for like lunches and snacks?
So the best thing I really learned is I started working with Jim Moore, who he's 5 years out bariatric, and he's kind of like my coach accountability buddy for the sense is I didn't want to get into this routine of like, steamed chicken breast with half a cup of like that boring meal prep, which would cause, that face you're making, Kel, is exactly how it's yuck. Nobody wants to do that.
It's gross.
So he really came from bariatric perspective of let's get you some dude foods and make sure they are whole.
Yeah.
So that like you're not eating like, here's one Triscuit and a Profi and you shouldn't eat again until 7:30 at night. Like, no. So my morning usually looks like for breakfast, I'll do a 4-ounce chicken thigh and 2 egg white mini muffins. Then my midday snack will be a Premier Protein shake if I can't get into the break room, because depending on how I teach,
right?
That's the beauty. I have 2 master's degrees and can't go to the bathroom when I want. Be a teacher, they say.
Oh man!
So you kind of have to map that out
You do.
when you're doing that with the duty, because you can't leave kids unattended. So depending, I'll have my protein shake then, the Premier one as a grab and go. Lunch is about 5 ounces of cod, and I season it 5 to 10 different ways. So it's on a 2-week rotation of what it tastes like.
Nice.
I'm so impressed by you and your cooking.
Yeah.
Like,
it's seasoning. It's really just, everyone thinks like, what's the magic? It's fine 0-cal seasonings like Flavor God. Flavor God, please sponsor me or send me anything free.
Yeah.
But, no, I don't get paid to say it, but seriously, like get 0-cal seasonings. Go into Costco. They have Kinder's and let's see.
Kinder's barbecue is delicious.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. And I think that listening to him is what taught me is like, hey guys, you have no fucking excuses. Like you can say the things all you want, but this man has made it to where you can actually prep and make sure your day is totally scheduled out if you want to. So it is on you to do these things.
But you know what? That discipline gives me freedom to do so much more. One of the best people, and then I'll get to my fun seasonings. Super cheap. But anyway, from doing one of my favorite men's sports was talking to Jeremy, Maddie's daddy, VSG.
Oh, I love him.
Love Jeremy.
His mantra that changed my life was life happens in the afternoon. We're both teachers and we're both parents. And when I asked him, what do you mean by that? Because he'll post it every now and then, and it's not often, but it gets in there with his messaging. And I'm just like, what's amazing? Well, life happens in the afternoon. I'm picking up my kids. I'm being there for my wife. Kid might need help after school that I'm tutoring or working with. I coach.
Right.
So the more I can get done either at 5 o'clock in the morning or on the weekend frees me up to do what I need to do to be present for life. And that was something that from meal prepping and having it gives me a plan. Like Friday night, they needed someone to chaperone the play, and then they needed someone to work basketball security. So a day that I was told in like 24 hours notice, and this is what I like is they go to me. I knew I was going to go from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m.
Right.
And instead, before that would be my secret fat person, be like, oh man, I get the triple cheeseburger and I get the extra fries, and I'm going to justify it and wash it down with the Diet Coke. But now the Diet Coke neutralizes everything.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, zeros out everything. Yeah.
But yeah, instead it was, no, I have an extra lunch that I keep packed in case one of these things comes up. I literally post about it. It's you secure the bag. I had my egg whites and chicken. I had leftover roast pork and broccoli rabe as like a deconstructed Italian pork sandwich for after lunch. I had a 4-ounce piece of steak, and it's just rice and broccoli sometimes on the side of it. Like you have those staples from leftovers during the week, and just building it in measured containers. And like that day, I did the math and posted about it. I ate 1,800 calories, 200 grams of protein. I ate amazing. The food tasted great. And I still had time to work a protein bar in at night as like my dessert treat.
Yep.
But it's a way of life. And by having a plan, I ate under 2,000 calories, was full all day, loved everything that I ate. And I didn't end up going to Wendy's. I didn't go to McDonald's. And it's that freedom you get from being disciplined in your actions allows you to have the life that you want to have every single day.
And have it in the afternoon.
Okay.
I love that.
What did you just say? Being disciplined. I'm going to write this down.
I can't repeat it. We're going to have to.
We can replay it.
So I go through everything of it's freedom through discipline.
Yeah.
It's the idea that the more disciplined you stay on certain habits and things that you create.
Yeah.
It allows you to have the freedom to live your life with everything. So when things pop up, I'm always honored that my colleagues at work look at me as I'm a go-to person that if they need in a pinch, I can step up for them.
Yeah.
Right.
My wife and kids know if something comes up, I can step up for them. And the way I do it is because I have my day so planned out of getting this stuff done early and often. I get to the afternoon and I can be present for my wife, kids, friends, family, whoever I need to be.
Well, and don't you feel more on too?
Yeah.
Like that's what I feel like when I was doing like the first 2 years when I was doing that, what you were talking about, I felt more awake and more present in the afternoon than I ever did in my life because I got the water in the morning. I got the protein in the morning. The workout's done, you know, and now I can be after work. What do we do now with all this time? You know, like this is awesome. We can go do things. Like if anybody needs anything, I can be there. Like not a problem. So it's definitely helps.
So the two main things that are great about the 5 a.m. workout is one, you get to tell everyone you go to work that you did the 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's how you know who works out at 5 a.m. They tell you every time they do it.
Yep.
And I do because it's a badge of honor. But the second is I am so hopped up on pre-workout that my morning classes go phenomenally.
Right.
I'm sitting there like, all right, everyone, we're going to go learn about the Constitution, break into your groups. And I'm sprinting through each group. And then like the kids in the afternoon are like, why is he so much different than in the morning? I'm like, he's crashing.
Yeah.
He's crashing hard. Yeah.
The pre-workout's slowly going down.
What pre-workout do you use?
I do Redcon for all my stuff.
Redcon.
So,
Okay.
And again, by planning, you can shop it. They have 50%. I don't get paid to say it. So that they should. They have like a 50% off sale once a month.
Oh.
So what I do, because I'm kind of crazy, is I just,
He's going to go grab it. He's going to grab
He
it.
took the headphones off. He
That's
can't
right.
hear us, but he's going to go grab his pre-workout.
Because it's Redcon, right? Is that what he said?
Yeah, Redcon.
So once a
just
month.
buy in bulk when they have the 50% sale off.
Yeah.
They'll probably get rid of it after this is, but no, the whole point is like, when you map out what you're going to buy and buy it on the terms of shopping a sale, because shopping's something we love to do.
Right.
You can buy more for less and make it last longer.
Yeah.
So if I know I'm using the same 5 products for the next 2 years and you can buy in that way, it doesn't go bad. It just sits in a pantry in my basement with Kinders, the zero cal seasoning that we talked about. But like to give you an idea for the numbers on it, it's 0 cal. Sodium's a little high, but it'll help you drink. So you just have to be mindful of that. But like this is a Butcher's All-Purpose. This is a fajita blend. This is a wood-fired garlic. This is a salt, pepper, garlic blend. They also have like a buttery steakhouse.
That one's really good.
The buttery steakhouse?
Yes.
Put it on your chicken and your egg muffins in the morning. And oh man, It's like eating a stick of butter every morning.
Really?
Like my inner fat kid just like jumps for joy when I eat it.
Oh my God. Zach puts it on my steak.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
And
you can
it's
you put it on
so
anything and it's
good.
phenomenal.
Yeah, it's
Put it on
so good.
anything and it's phenomenal.
So these
But, like-
egg muffins you're talking about, what is that exactly?
You go to Aldi, you buy the liquid egg white.
We don't
you
have an
3
Aldi's.
tablespoons. You don't have an Aldi?
No.
Or
Where do you
it's
get
a
all your
sad,
off-price?
sad place.
I mean,
It's a
because
sad-
I
but I
just
have
came
like
back.
I have chickens. So like, would I just do like a bunch of like 3 eggs or something? Or
Just take the yolk out of the egg.
okay,
Although who knows? By the time this episode airs, that yolk might be more valuable than the white. So maybe we're doing egg yolk muffins.
it's true, sir. I don't ever do egg whites to be honest
but we
with
could
you.
also put it on like our protein waffles that we make.
Yeah.
Like, because
I made a protein waffle to go with my KFC chicken this morning.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, yeah,
Perfect.
because we just use the Devotion,
Mhm.
Devotion Nutrition. You do a scoop of that, 1 egg, some baking powder, and
Works perfect.
Yeah,
Works
yeah.
great.
And so you could put that buttery blend over the top of that, and you could use the buttery blend Devotion Nutrition with the buttery blend Kinder's seasoning.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so
Now-
much butter.
Now here's the math part, but it is, but it isn't because it isn't actual butter. So
Right.
it's a 0 cal.
Mhm.
But think of it this way. I can have my cod 5 different ways
Yeah.
with those seasonings.
Mhm.
I can season my veggies 5 to 10 different ways and mix it differently each way with the cod.
Oh,
Rice is
look at
rice.
that.
Melanie
So
is
now you
keeping
can
up with you.
have-
I am not.
I'm so stoked right now.
You see how I'm doing? But see,
Mhm.
I can see Mel, you're getting it, Mel.
Yeah.
But
her math brain
it's
is
that
going.
joy. Yeah, and again, I did so well in math, Mel. They let me take the same courses again in the summertime. And I tell the kids that.
That's me.
Oh, that sounds like my kid. He's gonna have to retake geometry in the summer this year.
Yeah, but see, he's in geometry. I don't think I ever made it out of algebra.
I don't
Now,
know.
all I hear is a future history teacher in the making.
That's
I
right.
hear that.
That's right. I could see it coming.
My high
you know
school got
what's-
to a point where, like, you know what? You've gotten 3 years of summer school. We're just going to let you graduate.
You're
Like,
good. You're good. Get out.
What's funny is that he really does love history. So I'm not gonna lie. He loves science and history. So
Yeah.
that's kind of perfect.
Different
for him.
parts of the brain for everything.
That's
But
right.
Yep.
It's
Oh my
what I tell parents all the time. Look, they might just not like me. They might just not like the class. That you're all going to be successful when you find your niche and call.
It's true.
Exactly.
It's
Yep.
true. Your passion. You have to figure it out. It takes a while. It takes a long while
Yeah.
because I mean, I went to school for accounting and communications, and now I run a podcast and work as a claims adjuster. Like that's not at all
Mhm.
what my degree was in, but
Mhm.
I can use a lot of the knowledge and the experience that I got from there over to another place. So I always encourage school because you just don't know. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, but college might not be for me. But for me, it's like, that's fine, but do something in college because it's about really the people you meet. Because then you get to meet lots of different types of people. You get to learn how to work with different types of people because that is key.
It is key.
You have to learn how to work with people and all different types of people because this world is filled with different types of people. And if you can't communicate to them, then how are you supposed to work together? Like, and be
Exactly.
on the same page
Mhm.
or at least learn about each other. Like, not one person's the same. So,
My junior year guidance counselor actually said that at the rate I'm going, I was never going to leave high school. And I showed him I'm going to get a pension from my high school.
yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm back, baby.
I'm
That's
back.
right. Because you're tenured. Is that what I understand?
not
No,
tenured.
I get it next year. So 4 years and a day. So
Yay. That's
Yes.
so
That's
cool.
really
I'm so
exciting.
proud of you.
So I have a question about your Instagram.
Yeah.
How has it
no.
been since you started your Instagram? Like,
Mhm.
did you find it like very welcoming? Is it been kind of, you
Hit
know?
and miss. Like, what does it
Yeah.
feel like to be a dude on Instagram?
Yeah.
well, there's 4 of us. So you know. It's I'm the mid-level Instagram account. I'm an under 5K Instagram account. When I first started, it was just I kind of wanted to take a look at things and kind of see what was there,
Mhm.
and it was for motivation. And it was like, you know what, I want to document my progress.
Yeah.
Right.
And then from doing the process and looking at everything, Sleeved Athlete, who is so amazing,
Mhm.
made a post of shout out to the 5 dudes in the men's VSG community. We see you and we like what you're doing. So I was like, why don't we do a live together and see who came out? So like
Mhm.
I posted something about it, and it was like, oh God, now I'm drawing the blank. I already referenced the movie too. Field of Dreams.
Field
like
of
if you
Dreams.
build it, they will come.
Yep.
So it was this weird, like, I started to do the Instagram lives, and Dr. Joe was his surgeon. He's like, I'd love to come on and just talk so that the men know that doctors want men to have this surgery.
Yeah.
And he came on and he was phenomenal. And, Rob Motivation, because we had already met in person, was like, why don't I come on and I talk about it? And like, next thing you know, like we were booked out till December of people just wanted to like send that there's a light on and there's men in this community and we want to help.
Yeah.
And, it's just developed and grown. And I didn't have an intention of this. I was just going to be like every other dude on here. I don't post much. I'm just kind of looking to see. And it's kept me accountable. And I've met some really awesome people with it. We started doing bariatric meetups from there. And in the good warm weather months, we have like one a month. And to see the community build and grow, it's just phenomenal. And it keeps me honest. It keeps me motivated. And my goal is like 7 years from now, I'm still here and still kicking. So,
Ditto.
Yeah.
Ditto. I hope we get to rock this together.
Yeah.
Another 7. That's going to be amazing.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
We're never going anywhere. We
Right?
like it too much here.
Well, is there anything you'd like to add that maybe we have missed in this conversation?
Any tips?
Any tips, tricks, anything?
Make a schedule.
Yeah.
Keep track of yourself. I hate to say it, but the data doesn't lie. Half the people out there say tracking's good, tracking's bad. Find what works for you and keep doing it, and find a schedule that makes you happy. Some of you probably heard everything I said and said, I can't do that. And you shouldn't. If you can't do that, you shouldn't. Find what works for you and that you are happy doing, and you will not work through this process. And keep trying, keep failing. And eventually, like everything you see me do is really just the product of 5 to 15 years of failing at finding happiness with food, working out, weightlifting, and my life. So,
yeah, it doesn't happen overnight, guys. It's a work in progress. It takes years upon years of experience and the failing and retrying, the failing and retrying. Because like, hey, we fail too. Like, I think people think like, oh, they got it together, but it's like, hey, no. We fail all the time and we just don't stop. That's the deal. Like, don't give up on yourself.
We're still here. Like,
I still have binges.
Yeah.
There's still days where I made a reel like a couple weeks ago. I ate a whole box of Girl Scout cookies by accident. And by accident, meaning like I ate them mindlessly.
Right.
And then realized like there's nothing scarier when you're like, hey, I'm 14 months out of my surgery and I'm watching myself down these cookies. And I know that each cookie I'm putting in my mouth is wrong for me.
Right.
And I could not control myself. And that still happens. And people got to realize surgery doesn't fix that.
No, it doesn't.
You have to fix the relationship with food so that when those things happen, you own it.
Yeah.
And you move forward and make a better day. And then I was proud. I brought a box of cookies in 2 weeks after that. I had 4, which I found out was the serving size of Girl Scout cookies, which is ridiculous.
4 cookies.
Not 4 sleeves, like 4 of them
4
in one sleeve. Yeah. Like a Simpsons hand.
It's like, what is this? No.
A Muppet. It's a Muppet claw. I don't know. Like I took the thumb in. It's technically 5. I don't know.
I love it.
No, 4 cookies. That is stupid. Girl Scout.
I think
cookies.
that's enough though, guys. Like 4 cookies is enough for you. At
but
least
a serving size, it should be like at least 5 or 6.
Well, then your cookies are going to be smaller. They
then
can do it.
Don't come into the house.
Check your packages. But it's one of those things that like you got to celebrate when your relationship with food changes. So we have Wawas, which are amazing bougie gas stations that have full delis and sandwiches. You're going when you come.
Okay.
But essentially, like one of my goals was I walked out of a Wawa after getting gas and I didn't eat food.
Oh,
and for
that
someone
is a
who was
win.
365 pounds and I could spend $40 on gas, $20 in food, like to come out with nothing that's a win.
That's huge. It's a huge win.
Yes, for sure.
That is so exciting.
Love it.
Well, thank you, Rob, for hanging out with us this afternoon.
Anytime.
It's been so much freaking fun.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
We need to do a workout.
Do a workout.
Yeah, let's go.
Do some lives.
Let's go.
Like this will be a
5
blast.
a.m. my time. Let's do it.
That's
a 2 a.m. our time.
That's not going to happen.
Exactly. Come out of the bar. We'll get the glow sticks going. We'll
there you go.
Oh, that should be fun.
The nights that we're still up, I will just do a workout with Rob.
Just shoot the moon.
Right? There.
Do not try this at home, people.
I sent Mel, which this video will never go public at all. I was drunk and upset.
Oh, yeah.
And I sent her this video. I thought I sent her a picture, but apparently I sent her a full ass video.
1 full minute. And I was like, why didn't you
Yeah.
Marco me? You normally Marco me because that's a video chat app.
No.
And I was like, she sent me a video, babe. This is weird. And then we play it and we're like, oh, this is hilarious.
oh yeah.
She can't form sentences.
Yeah, it was
She's
up. I
all
was
over
up.
the place. And then I talked to him like, do you remember that video you sent me? She's all, nope. And I was like, you might want to
Nope.
watch the video you
Yeah.
sent me.
Yep. Nope. That's not going to happen for a while. I have like stopped drinking after that.
Yep.
Like I've had like one glass and then I'm like, I'm
We're
good.
done.
I'm
We're
good.
done.
So
Weird. Like the first time I drank after surgery was Christmas Day because that was like my 6-month mark.
Okay.
And we had to do the Zoom Christmas because it was like right in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
So that coffee mug looked like coffee. But I was definitely the happiest person by 11 o'clock in the morning after like 2 drinks.
Yeah, like a hot
And
toddy.
Yep. I like took the prime rib out of the oven. I was like, we're all going to have a Christmas feast. And then I went right down and went to sleep. So
I love it. Yeah, because having alcohol after bariatric surgery, like when you wait, which you should wait, everybody, as much as you can. But like you have a tiny tummy and a fast metabolism now. So it goes through you quick and you are hammered really fast.
yes.
do try it at home. Do not go out. the
Yeah,
first
just
Yeah,
at
it's kind of
home.
embarrassing when
You
you go
do.
out in public at the first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I did it while
Yeah,
camping, so I was good.
Yeah,
I was
perfect.
in the middle of nowhere. Like it was golden place. To do
Yeah,
it.
seriously. Because you got to
You want
test
to be in
yourself.
the trust tree when you do that.
Oh, I like that. The
Yes.
trust tree.
Yes.
I'm going to use that from now on. You're in the
Yep.
trust tree. Oh
I
my
like
Yes,
the
I'm a,
goodness.
middle,
dance.
I'm a middle-aged white man. I use references from Step Brothers and movies from the 90s. That's
Oh, it's
essentially my
perfect.
wheelhouse.
I
I
just like
mean-
the dance that goes with it.
That works with
Trust-
us because
trust
I think
tree.
we were all born around the same time. So it's kind of
I know.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
So-
much.
We're there.
Well, and guys, if you guys want to watch this, because he's done some really funny activities.
Yes, yes. You'll want to see this.
You definitely want to watch
Yep.
this one.
Definitely
So
wanna
go to
see
YouTube, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. It'll
Mhm.
notify you when these drop.
it. Mhm.
If you want to watch these sooner, go to the patreon.com
Mhm.
/OSLP. And these get the people that pay $10 or higher. Not only are you in the Benchy support group, that's like the best support group in the world.
Mhm.
You get these videos 10 days early. So please go and watch these because this one's hilarious.
And we will have Dad Rob, which his Instagram name is not Dad Rob.
No,
we
it's
have
not.
just coined him as Dad Rob.
Yes,
We will have him linked, his Instagram linked below.
that's
So
right.
check it out and go follow him because he's hilarious and so inspiring.
So
with
inspiring.
All of his workouts. Every time I see one, I'm like, damn it, another day that I didn't get a workout.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's a new day.
Tomorrow's
Didn't
new
get a
day.
workout in yet.
Yet.
Use that growth mindset.
Ooh, I like that. The
Yes.
yet word.
I don't like it. I'm you work out in the morning or nothing.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
Yeah, at least I have a system. It
You
works.
do.
It
You
works.
do.
I
I'm
got
like
you.
3 weeks with no workouts. It works though.
You do what works for you.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly. All right. Thank you so much, Rob, for hanging out with us. We had a freaking blast.
Yes, we did. All right.
Awesome.
Well, we
I
love
did
you.
too. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. We love you guys.
and we will see you next time. Bye.